Welcome to the Worst of the RadioU podcast. This is the Wednesday, January 3rd edition of the show. Today, the return of Would You Rather Wednesday, where we ask the question, would you rather have 2024 be just as good, just as bad as 2023, or do you want to roll the dice, take a chance? The answers that we got, fairly shocking to me.
We also talk about some words that you need to get out of your vocabulary for 2024, the cringeworthy words that we're throwing away into the new year.
And also what you'll hear right here at the beginning is a new trend called buddy mooning. You can find out what that is in the podcast. Enjoy.
We'll catch you guys soon.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
Now, weddings and traditions around them are definitely changing. Have you ever done this? The new trend? A buddy moon? 8772 Radio U.
Is that when you and one of your buddies pull off a mooning?
No. Have you done that?
I've never done that either.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I have. 8772 Radio U. Have you ever done a buddy moon? A buddy moon is a honeymoon. Now, you could be forgiven if you thought, oh, so that's a honeymoon with your buddies. Like, basically a bros trip. No. A honeymoon is after you get married. It is like a traditional honeymoon, except instead of just the two of you, you do invite all of your friends. And so you go to Aruba or Hawaii or Tallahassee, wherever you're going, and you bring the whole crew instead of it just being the two newlyweds.
An interesting concept, that is.
Yeah.
A friend vacation for your honeymoon.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way. Zoe Burke, wedding planning expert for Hitched. She says, let's face it, you have the rest of your life to be just the two of you, so why not max out the rare time where you have all your loved ones around you?
Got it.
Yeah. Hard to argue against that, except, after my loved ones already have to pay for a wedding, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they want a nice vacation out of it, They
want to buy me a gift and then go on vacation with me.
Yeah. Spend
Did
even
I
more
choose,
time.
of course, where we're going.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's my big day, but you can also tag.
Yeah. And if me and my newlywed wife want to just spend it all alone, even though we invited you, that's our choice.
And as well, we also get to pick the date.
Yes. When, where, and just to be clear, we're not covering your cost of the vacation. That's on your dime.
And the good thing is you leave right after the wedding. So not only do you get to travel to my wedding, because I'm not going to have it in the city that I grew up in, where you live now. I'm going to have it somewhere else. So then you can travel for that. And then right after, on that following Monday, not like a weekend trip. This is a week-long trip, so you can use all your vacation days.
Yes,
you can tag along with me for my honeymoon.
That's a very negative view of it. But could you agree? Would it be nice to have friends along for your honeymoon?
This takes a very specific friend group.
Yeah,
a very
you gotta
specific
be tight-knit.
a very specific couple to pull this off. Because my girlfriend and I, our friends aren't the same. Who comes? Does she even like my friends' girlfriends?
Yeah, that's right.
Are they coming, or are the girlfriends not coming? It's just my friends and her friends.
You're so right. You could,
because that's just a conjoined bachelor
your friends, and it's one thing to have your friends at the wedding in the wedding party. It's another thing for you to bring your friends along for a buddy moon. Maybe your new wife, maybe she doesn't like your friends, and like you said, forget about their girlfriends. Maybe that's not a good. Maybe that's just going to make it all awkward. This is it feels like there can't be that many people. I mean, you got a lot of friends, and it doesn't sound like you would do this.
I would never do this. There's no chance I would do this.
I don't have a lot of friends. I would never do this. When I take a vacation, I want to get away from everybody.
We can hang out when I get back. We just hung out the whole weekend.
Yeah. This is why. But this said, I know at least some members of my family have done. I don't think they brought friends, but they brought, parents would go along, siblings would go on.
Have you been?
Honeymoons. No, I have not.
Smart. I don't want to have to cater to anybody else on my honeymoon.
Yeah, it should be about
It's about
you.
me. I'm not going to be like, oh, what does the group want to do? No.
Yeah, it's your day, your time. That's, what does this gal say again? She said, you've got the whole rest of your life to be just the two of you. From my experience, the best time of just the two of you is at first. So enjoy it while you have that in a fun in a fun location.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
This is one of those questions that the right answer, more so than many other times, just depends on your own experience. Today's Would You Rather question is, would you rather that your 2024 is exactly as good or as bad as your 2023? Or would you roll the dice and have an equal chance that it could be better or worse, but it definitely won't be the same? You signing up for another year of 2023, would you? Or would you take a little gamble on 2024 being better or worse, but it definitely won't be the same?
This is a tough one. Because if you had a great 2023, then you're looking at even better. What could be better than the year you just had? Or possibly worse. Obviously, that's the downfall. Would you rather take the good year again?
Yeah.
Would you rather take the average year again, knowing you could maybe have a great year? But then again, do you risk the horrible year? And then if you had a bad 2023, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to pick possibly being better.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if it's worse.
Yeah, you got an equal chance of it being worse. So man, it's tough. It's all the math. You got to think about the math of it all. I think the question is not as interesting if you're just like, I had a great 2023. Why would you not sign up for the same?
Run it back.
Yeah, run it back. But if for most people, you probably would say you had an average 2023. You want to sign up for average again, or you want a 50-50 shot that it's way better?
But I think as well, even if you had a great 2023, you got to look at this year ahead, your situation, what might be coming. Let's say maybe you're getting married this year. Maybe your wife's pregnant. You're going to have a child this year. And so you would think in your mind, it's got to be better, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you can have the same. And so I think you got to roll the dice. Maybe you roll the dice if it's supposed to be a great year.
877-2-RADIO-U. Let us know your thoughts on today's Would You Rather question for Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather your 2024 is exactly as good or as bad as your 2023? Or would you rather have an equal chance that it could be better or worse, but definitely won't be the same? Let us know your thoughts. We'll see what people are saying next.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
It's Would You Rather Wednesday. The question is, would you rather guarantee that your 2024 is equally as good or as bad as your 2023? Or would you rather roll the dice and take a risk that your 2024 will definitely be better or worse, an equal chance, 50-50 shot. It'll be better or worse than 2023, but definitely not the same. And the thoughts are coming in. Philip didn't say whether his 2023 was good or bad, but he did say he's definitely rolling the dice. You got a risk taker.
Rolling the dice. I love it.
Got a risk taker. Lisa says she would roll the dice as well.
Rolling the dice.
She said 2023 had high highs and low lows, but hopeful for an even better year this year. So that's her strategy. Jaden, responding to your thoughts of what if you have like a wedding or, a child on the way here in 2024, you got to take average is what you said, because you don't want to mess that up, right? Or you got to take the risk because like the odds are that's going to be better, right? But that's not how this game works. Jaden says if you're next year has something important like a wedding or a child, you might want to repeat it because you don't want to risk a bad wedding or childbirth or something like that.
That's smart. That's good thinking.
Yeah, I think that's wise. I think that locks you in. If you got something big, you got to lock in your average year. Let's see. Rich has got to roll those dice on 2024. Can't sit and wait for the same. The spice of life, my friends.
Spice of life, baby.
Yeah,
I like it, Rich.
Rich wants to spice it up. And Joy says, every year's been really good and really bad in it. For me, it seems like when things get super horrible, God sends something really great to help me hold on. So I definitely would roll the dice because that's kind of what having faith is all about.
I like that, Joy.
Yeah, that's a good outlook.
Rolling the dice.
It sounds like you're a dice roller as well.
Bethany, rolling the dice. I had some major losses this year, but let's turn it around this year. Have an even better year. Make it a better year. Nobody's talking about having worse.
I know. There's a 50-50 shot. That was the rules of the game. You got a 50-50 shot. Whereas you could just lock in that the other choice, locking in that you got an equal year to last year is the other option.
So what are you doing? Are you rolling the dice? Are you going with the crowd? Or are you going to stay true?
Well, I think the answer is largely dependent on how you would rate your previous year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because again, I think if you had a great year last year, why would you not choose the same thing? I think the answer is clear. But if you had an average or subpar 2023, it makes it a lot more complicated. For me, I would say I had an average 2023. I definitely wouldn't rate it a great year, but it wasn't bad.
Solid year.
Solid year. Good things happened.
So what do you got for us?
So I'm locking that back in.
You're not going to roll the dice with us?
I'm not going to roll the dice. I don't want a 50-50 shot that my year is worse.
Average year.
That's a wild take.
Lock it in. Just an average 2024. I'm rolling the dice. Send me some great things on my way. I'm hoping for a big year. I mean, it could go badly. It could go horribly wrong. But then we'll just bounce back in 2025. That's my plan as of now.
You see, I've
got
go
big.
You, Bethany, Joy, Rich, Lisa. Actually, wait, nobody that we've at least acknowledged here has said they're locking in the same year, except maybe Jaden here. 50% of you are going to have horrible years.
We're rolling the dice.
Yeah. It won't be me.
I mean, there's a good amount here. We got Bethany, Joy, Rich. So that means about 50-50 shots.
Yeah.
So half of us are going to have a bad year.
Sorry, Bethany, Rich, and Lisa, and Isaiah. You just...
we're splitting here.
The odds are your 2024 not going to go well.
Or it's going to go great.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a great year. I'm rolling the dice. Roll them with me.
8772 Radio U. Chime in on your thoughts for today's Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather lock in an equal year to 2023 for you? Or would you rather roll the dice? You got a 50-50 shot. Better, worse, but definitely won't be the same.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
You ever make your own recipes, make your own food in the restaurant kitchen? Because there's a TikTok going around that has some people questioning. It's a gal at Popeyes, and she's teaching, like she's doing a TikTok showing a recipe she makes, and she's like, I'm making this with Popeyes ingredients in the Popeyes kitchen. It's not on the Popeyes menu, and it's just for me. Don't do this if you work at Popeyes, or else you might get fired, but I'm doing it.
I like her style.
Yeah. And so I didn't know, like, would that be a shock to you, Isaiah? You never worked in food service. Would it be a shock to you if you knew that, like, fast food employees are back there whipping up their own food, off-menu stuff that they're just coming up with on their own for themselves?
It seems fair to me. I think if you have time, maybe it's a slow day. I knew my roommate worked at Burger King. And he would always talk about how they would make certain foods there, but they were always on the menu. Like one of my coveted things that used to be served at Burger King that's no longer around is those mac and Cheetos.
Yeah.
The spicy mac and Cheetos. And they said they would make those nonstop and just eat them the whole time back there.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that people did this all the time at fast food restaurants. But I didn't think making your own recipes, that's a little bit creative.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Mark chimed in. He says, well, how else would you come up with new food ideas? But this is like, we're talking Popeyes. This isn't like a chef, just messing around at whatever, like a real restaurant. This is Popeyes. Everything is half the stuff is frozen. It's predetermined. And this is just random employees. They're not gonna go to corporate and be like, hey,
You never know.
I came with these mashed potato balls. You want to add them to the menu? I guess they could. But this gal, she's telling people not to do this because she's worried they'll get fired. Which then, like, why are you posting it? You know,
I'm looking for the clout.
Yeah.
What about you at Panera? I mean, you've worked in a myriad of restaurants.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, this could be surprising to people, I guess, but this is. I wouldn't say it's common, but people would. Because the thing is, too, if you work at a restaurant and you take advantage of, like, the discount or whatever, or you just, sneak food off, you're going to get tired of eating the stuff that's off the menu, like ordering off the menu. And so we had a lot of us that would just make our own, just completely design our own sandwiches at Panera from, like, the ground up. Yeah.
So you're
using the stuff that was already there, though.
You're telling me, Panera, hope you're listening, that you use company ingredients to make your own food on the side.
Well, I mostly paid for it. Usually paid for it.
Really?
Yeah.
With
the employee discount. Yeah.
Not nearly as fun.
It's not really scandalous.
Not nearly as fun.
But I also know that managers would they
on
would.
The clock?
Yes. On slower days, yeah.
Jeez, and they promoted you.
Uh-huh. They didn't promote me.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Lake Superior State University. They've become well known. Every year they put out a list of banned words that you're supposed to stop saying into the new year. So I've got their list right here. You ready to cut some of these from your vernacular?
Let's get rid of them.
Let's get rid of them. Number 1, hack. You can't say hack anymore.
Hack topic.
Yeah. And they say in multiple contexts. So whether you're calling somebody a hack or whether you're calling us a hack, you shouldn't do that. It's banned. You're not allowed. We aren't hacks. Or whether you're talking about a life hack or whatever. Lake Superior State says no more. You good with that one?
That's fine. We can get rid of hack.
Impact.
That seems kind of crazy.
It says, especially as a verb, why use this word when we have a perfectly good word that makes more sense? Effect.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because I don't know which effect is which, so I don't know if I'm supposed to put an A or an E. And so whenever I am going to use effect, I have to just switch it to impact because I don't know which one to use. But when I'm speaking, I can use effect.
It's going to have a big impact on your vocabulary.
If I'm writing, I have to put impact.
Yeah, over effect. It's with an A, by the way. Affect.
I would always use the E.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. This is not a word. It's a phrase. At the end of the day.
Well, at the end of the day, the show's just cooking along.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get rid of that one.
I like at the end of the day. I do. I know it's a cliche. It's particularly very, very businessy. Doesn't it feel very businessy?
The end of the day.
Yeah. Their quote
We're keeping that one.
It's often employed as a rhetorical device that attempts to encapsulate the complexities of a situation summarily, lacking nuance and depth. Who wrote that? You have too big of a vocabulary. Shut up. Just say at the end of the day. This one's big. Riz.
Getting rid of Riz.
Yeah.
It's over. It had its moment.
Who do you think hates Riz more? Old people that don't get it, or young people that think that it's now getting too widespread?
Gotta be old people.
You think?
That hate it.
They just don't understand it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't like any word if I didn't know exactly what it meant either, and someone was using it constantly.
Their quote here, with language doing the cha-cha of change, we're wondering if this word still rocks the charisma scene or if it's time for a language remix.
Who's writing these headlines?
I don't
Next.
know. Lake Superior State. Slay. They don't want you to say slay anymore.
Slay did have its moment. It's over. I'm over slay as well.
That feels a little older than...
So slay. Over it.
Iconic. I'm good with iconic. Like, I'm good with continuing on. I don't think that... Is that so overused?
Who used iconic so much, you know? Who overused iconic so much in 2023 that we can't use it anymore?
Somebody describing the show.
Our show?
Yeah. Cringeworthy. Cringeworthy is banned. That is overused. People say that a lot.
Okay.
Obsessed.
I'm obsessed, yeah.
Yeah.
Overused, next.
Side hustle.
Nobody has any of those anyway.
I wish we could replace that with something else, but it would have to be full-time paying jobs that pay enough, and there's not enough of those, seemingly. and wait for it.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
Why are we getting rid of wait for it?
If we're watching the video, then we're already waiting for it, right? I do hate that. I don't hate saying it.
Oh.
I hate when a TikTok or something comes up and it's like, wait for the end. No, if I have to wait for the end, that means the beginning is uninteresting and you should cut it out. You have a video editor right there.
But sometimes you need the beginning to explain the end.
No, if you have to tell me to wait for it, then it takes too long.
The worst is when you're showing someone a video and you know it's crappy until the end and you have to say, wait for the end.
Yeah. And then the person's just standing, like you're showing the person, they're sitting there uninterested.
And then you're staring at them kind of with a little smirk. You're like, you like it?
Fast forward. Use the fast forward.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.